Hello students, in today's class we will see how to use an online compiler for writing simple C programs. So the online compiler which you all see right now in front of you is onlinegdb.com/online_C_compiler. You just type this link in your browser and you will be redirected to this particular interface, what you can see on the screen. Now this compiler lets you compile your C programs or write basically C programs. Okay, since it's not possible for you all to download a compiler and install on your laptop, this online compiler you all can just use the link of it and get the compiler in the browser and run the C programs. Okay, so we will see today just to write simple C programs. Okay, simple lines of code of the C program. Okay, so what you see on the screen over here in orange over here, which I have marked, is nothing but the comments in the C program. So whenever you open this C compiler, this program which you can see is by default present in the compiler screen. Okay, hence you can edit it, clear it fully, and you can write your own code, or you can just remove whatever you don't require and add the lines which you want to add. Okay, so what you see in orange over here is nothing but comment lines. They are just comment lines. So what do you mean by comment lines in C is that those are lines which don't have any kind of significance. So they don't have any logic to them. They are just having the purpose of to show something on the screen or on the display. Like when you open this program, if you write a comment, that comment will remain in the program itself. It will not be seen later on whenever you execute the C program. Okay, so if it's not required, you can just backspace it, remove it, delete it. So these lines of code are your actual C program. Okay, now there are these lines over here, hash include stdio, int main, this is a curly brace, then there is printf hello world, then there is return 0, and there is a closing brace. The brackets, curly braces is what we have to make use of over here. Now curly brace and a round bracket have different meanings in C, so you have to be careful in not exchanging either of them. Okay, so I'll just execute this simple program which was there by default in this online compiler and show you what is the output for the same. So if you see, this printf statement prints hello world, like there is this hello world return in this printf statement. So when I run this program, the output of this program you will be able to see at the bottom of the page. Can you see at the bottom of the page there is one black screen which has come, which will be your output screen. Now what you can see in white color on the black output screen, console screen, is your output, and what you can see in green color is nothing as such regarding your program. It is just the part of the compiler. Okay, so what you can see on the screen is hello world. Okay, now you can see this hello world because you have printed it in your program, hence you can see this hello world. Okay, now let's learn what all these lines in the C program denote. Okay, now what you can see over here in the first line itself is hash include. Now hash include is nothing but a preprocessor directive which you all have to make use of to include any kind of header files in your program. Now your C programs or any kind of program, C++ or Java programs cannot work without header files. They require some kind of files for the purpose of getting some kind of functions or some kind of other information to be imported into your program. Hence, these header files are very important. Now, in this particular current program, what you can see, the header file name is stdio.h. So stdio.h stands for standard input output, and this is a header file which has the basic input output functions which are required for the C program. So to include or to make use of this particular header file in your program, you have to write this preprocessor directive which is hash include. So it is always hash include stdio in a angle bracket dot h because it is a header file, and close the angle bracket. Now this dot h is nothing but an extension, like how you can see for a JPEG file it is dot jpeg as the extension. Sometimes that the extension is dot gif. For a document the extension could be dot pdf. Similarly, for a header file the extension is dot h. So this was about the header file which is written at the very beginning of the C program. The next thing you'll have to know is the main function. You can see this main, M-A-I-N, and this particular main is a function. Now a function is nothing but a piece of code, okay, which does some kind of tasks and it produces some kind of output. Okay, now we will write various different functions in C in the further classes, but main is that function which is the controlling function of your entire program. Entire C program's control is within this main function. Okay, now this int, what you can see, stands for integer. It is a short form of integer. Now integer is nothing but, it is called as a data type. Now in C, whenever we make use of data in C programs, we just cannot make use of data. We have to mention what kind of data it will be. Now if the data is of the type integer, we have to make use of int, int, as the data type. If the integer is of some other type, say character, we have to write char, char. So char stands for character. So in this case what you can see is the main's data type is int, which actually means integer. Now the curly brace, what you can see, the opening curly brace and the closing curly brace denotes the start and the end of the main function. The curly brace opening and the curly brace closing denotes the beginning and the end of the main function. So this is the main function. On the next line you can see the curly brace, which means the main function is beginning here, and the closing brace over here, which means that the main function is ending. Now inside the main function you can see only two lines. One is printf hello world. Now this printf hello world is nothing but to show some output on the screen. Now you can see down on the black screen, on the black console screen, that hello world, what is printed is exactly what you have put inside the printf function. Now printf is also a function, and it is derived from the header file .stdio.h. Okay, it is derived from stdio.h. Now this particular printf function does the job of displaying an output on the screen of the user. So basically on the screen, on the console screen, it displays the given output. Okay, so in this case it is hello world. Now for this particular printf function you have to use curly brace. You just cannot write the whatever output you want to print. You have to write it in curly brace and brackets, and you have to use double quotes. So if you can see, there are double quotes over here and there are double quotes over here at the very beginning and at the very end. And this particular line printf ends with a semicolon. So you have to remember that every line inside the main function will always end with a semicolon. So semicolon denotes the end of the line. Okay, but if you see over here, the main function, you don't write a semicolon over here. You need not write like this a semicolon. The reason is that it is a function. Okay, for functions we don't write semicolon after the bracket. We don't write. Now there are only certain functions for which we don't write. Like for a printf function we write a semicolon. Okay, so these are nothing but the syntax and the rules of C programming, and you have to stick to it. Like you cannot change the rules of C programming or the way of writing this particular programs. Okay, and the last line is a return 0. Now since int main, this int main, what you can see is a function, and this particular function's data type is a integer type, which means you have to return some value. Return as in that it has to be some kind of calculation or some task which should happen in this particular function, which has to be returned as an answer. Hence there is nothing really to return. It is just printing. It's nothing returning as such. It is just printing this printf hello world. Therefore we are using this return 0 in the main function. Now if there's another type of a data type which is called as void. Void means empty. So void actually means nothing as such, empty. Okay, so if we write void main, we don't have to write this return 0, because void main does not expect any kind of value to be returned. Okay, so if you write void main, you don't have to write return 0. Hence I have removed that return 0 from the main function since it is not required. Now let's do some changes in this particular printf statement. This is a printf statement which you can see over here. This printf statement, which does the work of displaying the text onto the screen, what we'll do is we'll just change the values of it, or not the values really, we'll just change the text in it. So let's put something like good morning everyone. So I have just used this good morning everyone. Let's execute this and let us see what output do we get. The output will be displayed at the bottom of the screen in the console, which you can see, black color console. There will be the output displayed. Now how to run it? Just click on this run button, or you can use F9 key also to run the program. So let's just click on the run, and it shows you the output of the program which you all have written at the bottom. You all can see over there, good morning everyone. Okay, so this is how a simple program in C can be written. Now let us write another line of code. I will write a printf statement, another printf statement, printing something else maybe. Let's just write another text statement. Okay, so this is what we have to print. We have to end it with a semicolon. As I have told you, every statement inside the void main function, we have to end it with a semicolon. Okay, so I put a semicolon and let's run the program again. Click on this run button and you will be able to see the output at the bottom of the page. Can you see the output at the bottom? Good morning everyone. There are 3 exclamation marks and it says welcome to Don Bosco Engineering. Okay, so you can make necessary changes if required. Let's write College of Engineering. Now if you remember the output was on one line itself. It was not on separate or 2 lines. So if you want that, what you can do is you can put something called as backslash. This is a backslash and a n. A backslash and a n, if you put, it goes to a new line. The output is printed on a new line. Okay, these certain things you have to remember about C programming. Slash n means new line character. So you can write this and you can get this output on a new line. Let's run the program and we'll see if that is what exactly happens. This is what you can see. Good morning everyone. Welcome to Don Bosco College of Engineering. So this was about printf statements, simple printf statements in C. Over here I have made use of /n. Now another thing which is very basic and which you all have to know is /t. So what you mean by /t is tab. It represents a tab. So it just leaves a space of a tab and prints the output. So between the first line, between this line and the second line, there will be a space of a tab and both the sentences will be printed. Let's see if it really works. Let's again click on run. You'll be able to see the output. As you see, there is a space of a tab between both the statements. So this is what is the significance of the /n, which is a new line character, and /t, which is for space. It is for space purpose. Okay. Now instead of doing this, I can also write it in this manner. I can write both of these lines in one printf statement itself. Let us do that. I will just cut this and I will paste it over here. Now let's separate it out with a /t. You have to remember it is a /t. Okay, and let us remove this particular statement, second one, because it is not required. So now we just have one printf statement saying good morning everyone, 3 exclamation marks, a space which has to be left, welcome to Don Bosco College of Engineering. Let's run this and we'll see the output. You see exactly same happens again, where I have just used one line. Okay, so this is how you can do simple or write simple programs in C where you can make use of printf statements. Now going further, this was only about the printf statement. What if we have some variables to be used, or what if we have some calculations to be done? Like say for example, we have to we have to add two numbers, like say A and B. How do we do that sum? Now whenever we say we have to add two numbers, say we have to add A and say we have to add B. These two variables have to be first something called as declared at the beginning of the main function. It need not be at the beginning of the main function always, but it has to be at a point before making use of those variables. Now what do you mean by declaration? You have to tell what kind of variables are those, the data types of those variables. Now there are data types, various data types which you all can use. For example, integer is one data type. So to use integer you have to write int and the line should be ending with a semicolon. If you want to make them decimal values or real numbers, you can use float. So float lets you make use of decimal numbers. Or if you can also use, if you want bigger numbers or more precision of real numbers, in that case you can use something called as double. You can see there are suggestions which are given by this compiler. You can just use those suggestions for ease purpose. So let us say right now, let's not look at float, let's not look at double. Let's just look at integer values. In further classes, we will look into what is the difference between integer, float and double more in detail. So right now in this particular class, I'll just use integer values. So say we have declared two integer variables, one is A and one is B. So I'll just edit this a little bit. I shall remove this and I'll also remove this line. I will leave a line for printing purpose, a new line, just to make it good and readable, the output to be readable enough. So these variables are declared here. Now let's put some values into these variables, as in let's initialize them with some variables. Let's say we initialize B with 5 and let's say we initialize A with 1. And now to check whether these variables actually have these values, let's print those variables and see if they are actually having those values 1 and 5. So to print, this is what we do. This is the syntax of it. Kindly note. Okay. Now what you can see over here is %d. Now %d is used whenever you have to print, whenever you have to output, or whenever you have to take input of an integer number. That's when we make use of %d. For a float value, there is some another representation which is %f. If the data type is character, then it will be %c. So depending on what type of variable it is, on that basis you have to make use of this. Okay, since we have two numbers to be printed, one is A and one is B, so we have to print %d and %d, and with a comma we separate this part first part and the second part. Now the second part, what you can see is A comma B is exactly what you want to print. Okay, A, B is what you want to print. Now when you print on the screen, let's print and see what exactly comes on the screen so that you get a better understanding about it. Let's run the program. And can you see this 1 and 5 which is here printed at the bottom? And everything is come on a one line. Can you see? So if you don't want it on one line, what again you have to do is in this printf statement put a \n. This will let you introduce a new line character. The moment you put /n and again run and see, those numbers will be now on a new line. Can you see them? They are on a new line printed now. The next thing you have to look into is the values are printed as 1 and 5. Why it is 1 and 5? Because A has a value of 1 and B has a value of 5. It can be the other way around also. Like I can print B first and I can then print A. That is also allowed. You can change the order of printing also. Okay, but whatever is the value of B will be printed first now and whatever the value of A will be printed later. Let's check and confirm if that is the case. If you see, it is yes. 5 is printed first because B value is 5 and then A is printed because value of A is 1. So this is a printf statement. Let's focus on the syntax of it. Now if you see, the printf statement again has a double quote. Okay, and inside the double quote you can see a /n. You know what is the purpose of it. Now this particular %d, what you see is for this B, which means it tells the compiler that the printing of this B variable is going to happen and the B variable is of the type integer. The second value you see over here, the second %d you see is for the printing of variable A. So the variable A should be printed and it is of the type integer, hence it is %d. So the second %d is for variable A and this first %d is for variable B. Now it is very important to write this semicolon over here. Sorry, not semicolon, a comma over here. It is very important to write a comma over there because comma separates the two parts of the printf statement. So the comma separates two parts of the printf statement and lets you print the values of the variables B and A. Now this is also not correct because there are two variables, hence we have to separate them with a comma. So separating of variables with a comma is also a must, and the line should end with a semicolon. That goes for every statement. It should end with a semicolon. So this is how you can print the values of some integers. In this case it is A and B, or I mean not really integers but they are variables in this case. Okay, now what if we want to make these numbers of the type float? I had mentioned to you in this particular class that float is used for real numbers or basically for decimal numbers. So let's say we have A as 1.5 and B as say 8.2. So this is a decimal number, and if we want to print these values, there is a slight change in the printf statement which we have to do because the data type of the variables have changed. And what is the change? it is just %f we have to use since the data type is float. So it is %f. Let's run the program and see. You can see over here the first value is 8.2000 and the second value is 1.5000. Now these zeros, what you can see, are appended because that is how the variable is being stored in the memory whenever you declare it as a float variable. So I can keep on increasing the precision of it also, like say I can go for something like this ways, more number of decimal places also I can have. That exact same will be printed. Let's run and see. You can see on the screen the changes. It is 1.578,400, exactly same. Alright, so this was about float values. You have to remember to make the changes necessary as the data types change. So let's make these changes and let's do one simple statement, or we'll write one simple statement of addition. Okay, say let's add these two numbers a and b. So how do we add? It's a simple statement of sum equals a plus b. The operation used is addition. You have to end the line with a semicolon, and since we have made use of this variable sum, you have to declare that variable over here. Without declaring any variable, you cannot make use of the variable in the given program. So since sum was not declared, it wouldn't give you a correct answer. Okay, let's run the program and let's see. Now sum has sum has the value of a and b. It has done the operation of addition of the numbers a and b, but we are nowhere printing the sum variable. Hence let's write a printf statement to print the value of the sum variable. So since sum variable is of the type float, you have to make use of %f. We use a comma and the variable name, which is sum, and the line ends with a semicolon. Let's print it on a new line, hence we make use of \n, which is a new line character. Let's run the program now and let's see. If you see, 8.2 plus 1.5 gives you a 9.7 as the answer. So this is how you can print or do simple operations in a C program. So this is a C program, simple C program, doing simple tasks using the online compiler. The further things let's learn in the next class. We'll do more operations, more bigger equations, and we'll look into the more programming concepts in the further classes.